join this one.
Don't be nice. We can see you now.
Yay! I'm watching you.
What's up, guys? Welcome to What's up, guys? Welcome to Our Love, Our Journey podcast. And today we got a very cool special guest.
Hey, guys.
Miss Katy Hamman. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
That's
all right.
That's me.
I've literally only seen it, but I haven't said it.
Out of all the years you guys have known each other.
Yeah, I know. It's like, Hamman?
Hamman?
So, what's up, guys? So, Katy is a super good friend of mine. We've been friends for how long, Katy?
Gosh, at least 5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years.
Yes.
We've done the Entrepreneur's Journey together. For those who may or may not know what that is, we have a YouTube channel there. And this episode, we are actually doing a YouTube version as well, which is super fun. Not sure what podcast number this will be, but I'm thinking maybe episode number 10.
Okay.
Yeah, because we just did a YouTube version video yesterday.
Yeah, we
so
did.
Spread them out. But cool, we're excited to have you, Katy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited to be here.
Yay. So, Katy, do you want to introduce yourself really quick and tell everybody what you've done and what you do and all that cool stuff?
So I'm Katy Hamman, and for my day job, my bread and butter job, I run a full-time childcare. I have 2 employees, and that keeps me extremely busy. I've been doing that for over 15 years. I have 3 kids, and it's allowed me to stay home with them. Obviously, Monday through Friday, I don't have to punch a clock. It's wonderful. I love it. And then I also am a model on the side. That's my hobby and my fun work. And I also personal shop for people. So I kind of do a lot of different things. It's the different avenues of income that I have. Just I like to have all things coming in from all sources. It's what has helped me to grow my businesses, and I love it.
So dope. Okay, so actually, before we get in, so what we'll probably talk about, guys, we're going to talk about a lot of like mental health, but we're also going to talk about relationships. But also, I am curious to really quick to talk about entrepreneurship. Yeah. So how many different streams of income do you have?
So right now I have 3 different streams of income.
Dope.
And I am trying to get more, which is wye I'm going to join Jane McCrae Fitness.
Yeah.
We're going to be cranking out the income.
Excited.
Yes.
Cranking out all kinds of income.
We're going to see those dollar bills. So this will be my 4th.
Cream.
So, yeah.
Sweet.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Okay.
You're going to see a lot of Katy with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
See my face.
Yeah.
Like,
So for those that may or may not know, Alex and I have a company called Jane McCrae Fitness, and that's our main job. And Katy's getting ready to start helping out with that, with the social media.
We're super excited.
So that's going to be dope. She's going to help with our social growth. We got a dope strategy that I think will work. So you guys should start seeing us everywhere. And when you do over the next year, that's because of Katy.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're going to be going social crazy.
So we go social cray cray.
Social cray.
Social mid cray cray. Sweet. All right, guys. So we wanted to start off by we were just talking before this when Katy got here, and we were talking about mental health. And I've got diagnosed with literally everything. It feels like, at least. So it's interesting because for me, I've always thought of them as my superpowers. I've always noticed I didn't think externally I was much different, but internally I felt a little bit different because I realized I would just think about things a little bit different than most people. But I've always had a little bit more ambitions or passions. I've always been a lot more passionate than most people I knew and things like that. And I do attribute that to a lot of them, what they call mental, what do they call them? Disorders, disabilities, something. I
hate that.
I know.
Yeah, because that's such
it's more of a strength.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
I think no matter who you are, you got strengths and weaknesses.
Totally.
And so the more out of balance that you get in any area, like say you get out of balance where you're more, let's say have more anxiety, that can be used as a strength, right? And so now you can use that anxiety to get more, prepare more, and get more done, whatever, right? So it's just you're balancing and. But I wanted to talk about, so all of us have suffered from something. And I believe every human has some type of mental, if we want to look at mental illnesses, all of us, I think, have something. I don't know if any of us haven't suffered from either depression, anxiety, OCD, ADHD. It's super freaking common. Who doesn't have
Very
ADHD?
common.
Yeah.
You know,
Obsessive compulsive.
yeah,
I
all
guess
of it.
that's OCD.
Yeah, and so we wanted to kind of talk about our experiences really quick, and just to kind of shed some light. And I'm actually still unsure a little bit, so about especially Katie's, what she's kind of experienced in her life. So we can start with Alex. I was gonna say me, but I was like, we can start with
I mean,
Alex.
we you know, Josh and I on the previous podcast have talked a lot about our personal journey with mental illness, or whatever you want to call it. I hate people call it that. It's not an illness.
What can we call it? We should call it mental differences.
Mental
There you go.
differences. There we go. I hate that stigma because it just creates more of a stigma. When you're
Yeah,
like,
it's
I'm
not-
ill. Like, no.
No, you're just
You're on a journey. to
Exactly.
Wellness.
Exactly.
you just got a different balance.
Yeah.
I honestly don't see him as good or bad.
Right.
I see him as just a different ratio of what
Of
how you are.
mental chemistry,
Yeah.
brain
Yeah.
chemistry.
Yeah.
So I've struggled with depression and anxiety throughout my whole life. You know, Josh and I have done a lot of stuff to get rid of it, to try to get rid of it. You know, we're both in therapy weekly, individual and couples. We meditate, do deep breathing, work out every day. So then when I tried all of those things and I just, you know, couldn't like get there. I couldn't really like get there with my depression. Then that's when I decided to start meds with the guidance of my therapist. You know, we talked about it for about 6 months before I started any medication. And that just kind of gave me that extra little boost that I needed to make all of the things that I was doing work. And I still struggle, you know, I mean, I have days that are bad and days that are great, or moments that are bad within a day. But I just feel like I don't like fully slip into like a deep depression, if that makes sense.
So do you feel that since you got on meds for just a little additional support, do you feel like that has more happy days than not now? Is things changing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
More happy days than not. And like I said, like, it's just like when I feel like, for example, whenever I don't live close to my family. So whenever I would see like my mom and she would leave, I would get very, very, very depressed. So last time I saw her and she was up here, you know, I kind of felt sad, but I didn't like slip fully into a depression.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. And so I guess like, do you have any tips or tricks you learned along the way that if anybody's dealing with any of those that may help?
Yeah. There's not like a one fix all, you know, you
Yeah, I
have to
think
do
that's what
a
we're saying.
combination of things
I think
that
I've seen that.
are going to help. You know, you need, I firmly believe you need at least one person that you can just be fully honest with about the worst things that you've ever quote unquote done, the good things, the bad things, someone that's not going to make you feel shameful about them. So, I mean, I would say, you know, if you have a partner that you can do that with, maybe you're not comfortable doing that because you don't want to reveal your deepest, darkest BS to your partner. Get a therapist. You know, that's what they're there for. They're not there to judge you. They're there for you to get that out. I think that for me, like keeping all my shame inside was the worst part about it.
Yeah, you made me just think of something.
Yeah.
So have you guys heard the saying that like depression is in the past, anxiety is in the future, and fulfillment and happiness is in the present?
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
And actually that makes sense because everything you just said about your depression, you just went straight to all the past.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so for me, it's like, you know, I think that's true, but I also think there's a little bit more. I don't think it's like black and white is like that, but I also think depression is when there's a reality inside of you that you want to be reality, but in the physical reality is not matching up with
Totally.
your internal wants of reality,
Mhm.
and you feel like you can't control it. Therefore, that's depression.
Mhm.
That's what I noticed for me is like, what I do is I'll start going inside and I'm like, okay, where am I wanting reality to be something that it's not?
Mhm.
And why am I not accepting the reality? And then once I just find it, then my depression usually starts going away.
Mhm.
So to get there, I use things like journaling.
Oh yeah, that was the
awesome.
one thing
Yeah,
I didn't
journaling.
mention. Journaling. Once I started journaling, that actually even more changed the game than medication.
Yes.
For sure.
Oh, and really big tip of journaling, guys. If you hear the tick tick ticks, we're sorry. That's the dogs.
The dogs
on the freaking wood floor. Freaking dogs. All right. So if the journaling, when we journal, so what me and Alex we've been trying to figure out mental health and all this for a long time, and so one thing that we started doing was before we even started journaling was we're like, okay, there's the words of emotions when you say things when you're mad. That's not what you logically think. That's just your emotional words, right? Like that's just your emotion coming out in words, and you shouldn't judge those as actual
or
real words.
them.
Right. But so for example, what we would do is I would have Alex just like say all the mean things to me that she wants via her emotions. And I don't judge the words she's saying because I know it's not what she thinks in her logical brain.
He's
it's just
better at taking that than me.
I literally just sit there and I'm just like, oh, okay.
And I'm like, what?
That's terrible.
She's like, you're stupid.
I know, and I get in such like a weird state. I'm like, you're just stupid.
Yeah, and so, but we found that be effective because first you got to get your emotions out. They want to be expressed in some way. The only way we know how to do it is really words, and it's still not even what you really mean. You're just feeling an emotion, you're trying to get it out, okay? Right. So we don't judge that, right? And then we start going to the logic. Now you can start looking at the full spectrum of logic. Okay, I can see where I was coming from here, you coming from here. We got to get the emotions out first usually. And so where I'm getting at is we started doing that with journaling instead. So we evolved it to like, well, then what if we did that with journaling? So first you write down all the what you feel, so you can say all the meanest, weirdest things,
guys,
whatever.
my emotional journey is journal is so petty.
You get petty as that.
Get it out, girl.
Yeah.
Get it out.
But you don't freaking judge the words you say on there. That is so important. It's not the words. It's not what you logically think. It's your freaking emotions trying to be expressed. So first start there, and then the second side of the paper or on the second page, then you start journaling the logic. And for us, that's got us a lot of clarity of what we're feeling and what we're thinking. Because it's weird because I'm like, oh, these are two brains. Like I was just like, oh my God, wait, hold on. So I'm speaking emotions here. I know I'm going on a tangent, sorry. but like the emotions is a different brain than the logic. Yeah. And so now I can start understanding the difference between the two whenever I get mad. So when I'm yelling at someone, I'm like, oh wait, no, I don't really think that. That's the emotional brain. And so it's really helpful to get awareness of the two. Okay. So anyway, so that was great. Yeah. Thanks, Alex, for sharing that. Katy, what about you? Do you what have you struggled with, and then at the end we'll talk about tips or tricks that you learned along the way.
Yeah, I've definitely struggled with depression and anxiety as well, and some OCD, just wanting that perfection sometimes and trying to achieve that level of the unachievable, and sometimes it's just not reality and it's not reasonable. And so just learning how to cope with that and just letting things go more, saying no more. Just letting that stuff go in my life.
So what are things you would get anxious about?
So I would get anxious about like my alarm clock going off in the morning, like missing it.
I feel you.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to sleep through it. Like I'm going to be super mad. Yeah. Like, they're going to hate me for not waking up in the morning. My parents, like they're going to be pounding on my door, like all these things, like, oh my God, this is awful. And so I would get this anxiety, and I just had to let it go, like through just journaling and just doing the deep breathing, and like, it's okay. You don't have to stress about the next day. Live in the present moment, quiet your mind and your thoughts. And so I've been able to really do that through meditation. And that really helps me before I go to bed, just quiet those thoughts of, thinking either in the past or in the future, and just living in the present moment. Like, okay, I'm going to have a good night's sleep tonight. I'm going to wake up tomorrow. It's going to be okay. Yeah. And yeah.
Did you notice less panic because I did, in your like sleep? Because I would wake up in like panics from my sleep since meditation.
Yes. I'd wake up and my heart would be pounding or something. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was just like this rush to get ready. And now I try to give myself more time in the morning, like set my alarm a little bit earlier, so
just
I'm not freaking out about the time, and have more time to, shower or whatever in the morning, and just come to that zen, I guess you can say, before I have to wake up and start my day.
That's so interesting because I couldn't sleep. Like everybody knows my sleep schedule is freaking nuts. All right, so everybody's like, "What the f is up with your sleeping?"
I've known this about him for a long time.
Yeah, forever.
Believe me, I'll get texted at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Oh, like 3, 4. Literally now it's like 5:30.
Literally.
Yeah, sometimes it's like 4 a.m.
Everyone's
now.
like, what the F?
We literally are awake through the whole night.
Yeah. So my sleeping has been crazy town my whole life. But what happened, what changed the game, guys, is meditation. Holy moly. So Alex and I meditate the first thing in the morning before we touch our phone, before
Which I
we're
did not
taking
do
any
today,
sensory.
guys. I'm not even going to
She slacks sometimes, but I don't miss
sucked
today.
on that
didn't either,
today.
so.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
normally I do. He's really good about doing it.
Well, I'm only good about it. I'm not good with habits at all. I'm actually terrible with habits. The reason why I'm good at habits like this is because I see the return is like so massive. For example, say you get a news letter in the mail for a court subpoena or something. Okay, if you meditate,
He's only saying that because I just
that
got
happened
one.
yesterday for her. So like if you meditate before before you take in any sensory, guys, that is so important before you do anything. If you do that, you just came out of an unconscious place. Now you have access to your subconscious because you just woke up. And now you can consciously balance your brain. And so then things, when they hit you, they just don't hit you that hard all day. You still stay in your center.
More balanced.
You're not getting too knocked off your center, right? And so, but then if you don't, then you're just free for whatever way the wind blows, you're going to get hit and get knocked
Which
with
again
it.
is what happened to me.
Yes, right. So it's just, I think it's super important to like ground yourself in the morning, but then also before bed. So what happened for me is like, as soon as I started before bed meditating, I've never slept peacefully one day. I don't think really. Maybe that's like not true, but like for the most part, right? Like overwhelming majority of the nights I slept, it wasn't peaceful at all. I always was afraid to go to sleep for some reason. And as soon as I started meditating, now I sleep so good because my brain gets cleared out before meditating. So it's not spinning all night thinking, well, what if I need to do this? Or what did I do this in the morning? Did I do this today? Oh, I said something mean to this person. Oh, this. And that stuff just goes forever.
Yeah.
So man, is meditation.
Yeah, meditation is the way to go.
Oh my
For
God.
sure.
Yeah. First thing in the morning, guys. And the magic number is 8 minutes, I believe. So if you can just do 10 minutes in the morning, and then 10 minutes
Which
before
is
bed.
not a lot of time.
Heck no. Out of 24 hours, if you can't do that to grab yourself a better quality of life. For me, I just think of it as it's a foundation. It's something I have to do to have a good quality of life. If not, I notice I'll just get temper. I'll just get into a bad mood. Something usually like happens because so many things happen to us throughout the day. And you need to show
unconsciously aware.
Right? And then you're just like, how did I get up in this like pissy mood?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, that sucks. You know, and really all it was the dog just barked at another dog. You know, and it ruined your mood for the whole day, and you're unconscious to what the F just happened.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? So cool. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that, guys. For me, really quick, it's pretty much the same thing. Depression, anxiety, OCD stuff, ADHD stuff. I have this weird thing with like OCD where I have to, people always think it means like, oh, you keep everything spotless clean. Like, no, I wish that was my OCD problem.
Does he, Alex? Does
he is not bad.
I'm okay. But like that's not what that'd be cool if that was my OCD issue. But no, it's even numbers. It's if I step on a crack of my foot, for those on YouTube, you can see. So like say this is my foot. If I step on a crack right here on my foot, or let's say the middle, if I step on the crack in the middle, or the next sidewalk crack, I got to step in the middle on this foot. If it's down here, I got to step down here. Things like that nonstop throughout my day. So like the TV channel, it has to be on an even number. If it's on an odd number, it freaks me out. I don't know why. It's weird. So things like that, right? If I put like every time we kiss, it has to be 2 kisses. It can't be 1 kiss.
You can't do
even numbers.
Yeah, even numbers. If I push the elevator, push it twice. So little things like that. If a raindrop hits my right arm, she'll see me on walks lick my left arm because I feel the breeze on this one.
It's so funny.
I feel the breeze. I'm like, I need to feel the breeze on this
The
one.
first few times we met, I was like, what is wrong with this guy?
Yeah. I actually just did it now for because I just spit on my hand here. I literally just did it. If for those that are watching, you can see in the video. Just weird. It's like, so I had to lick my hand here. Weird stuff like that, which is so built in my unconscious, right? So yeah, those things. And so kind of what helped me was exposure therapy. So I just purposely now, every time I go on walks, I just step all over the place. And then I don't freak out. I just kind of just watch and just kind of think about what sensations is happening in my body. I just do prolonged exposure therapy to myself. Yeah, so just let myself do it. It does make it more tolerable because I don't freak out now as much. But it's still there.
Yeah.
So the OCD, I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's something that you can eventually overcome completely, or if it's always a journey. I don't know enough about it. I don't really care. It doesn't really hold me back too much.
No.
And I think of it as a great thing because I notice it when I make music. I've been a musician my whole life. So if I make music or create anything creative for the business or anything, I get really obsessive into it.
He's
where I'm
very
looking at every
creative.
detail.
Yeah.
I get the creativity gift from it.
Yeah.
Creativity is so easy for me, guys. Oh my God. I never hit a creativity wall where people get writer's block. Not me. I can think of something all the time. So
And I've always said I don't have a creative bone in my body.
that's why we wing, like we wing so much. Like we just wing this
Yes.
right? And we just wing this episode. Like I'm like, oh, this is easy. I can wait till last minute, get creative, and think of something awesome.
So I hope you guys liked it.
Yeah, right. I just like,
Hopefully it works.
probably should have prepared, guys. No. But yeah, so anyways, I honestly think of it as super strengths, guys. I've always been the most creative music artist that I've encountered, or I've always, had advantages over people of creative ways of thinking, seeing things from different. I have dyslexia too, a little bit, so I'm out. But like, I would see things backwards and different. So it would help me see different perspectives. When everybody's going left, I would be like, well, what happens if you go right? Right? Yeah, it's been so helpful. Now I have my own philosophies that I'm not copying from Joe Schmo because he got a million followers.
Cool.
So I think it's so super strength. I would never trade those ever. Heck no. Those are my best strengths. That's what makes me me.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I heard dog peeing. Thought I heard.
It's the AC downstairs.
See, it says OCD.
Yeah, that's right.
Played out in real life.
Which actually, I wonder. So what I'm thinking, really quick, guys. So we're into like the functions of human behavior, and so for those that know Myers-Briggs, that's a basic form of it where you can kind of get into. But if you guys really want to get to the real deal scientific method, go to objective personality. Dave and Shannon, OMG, have they changed their lives?
Life changing.
But anyway, so I think OCD is for the control types. So if you're out of balance with chaos and control balance, if you're more dominant on the control function, then I think OCD is there because you're trying to keep control over everything, even the small things, to give you a false sense of control. So now, because it's a need, remember, these are needs, guys. These aren't wants or desires. So when you control something, it's because you need to feel a certain amount of control to be able to function, to get to your other stuff, to relax.
Yeah.
So Alex would know about that. So I have to control stuff on some basic level, but then I'm not controlling at all once my basic need is met. Do you see what I'm saying?
Cool.
So I think that the OCD helps me control little things so I don't have to be as controlling with everything else outside. So actually, that's kind of a good thing, right? If I think of it that way. But I think it's just a little imbalance. If you're the opposite coin, you're going to be chaotic and you're going to be ADHD more. And so you're going to have a hard time controlling, relaxing, sitting down and so that would be like a extroverted observer function for those who want to get fancy. So if you have the opposite imbalance, then you got the ADHD, right? And so that's all it is just rebalancing your functions. That's all it is, just functions.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. All right, guys. So let's move into relationships really quick. By the way, guys, this might be a little bit longer than our regular episodes. We're usually about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We're probably going to go about 35-ish minutes for this one. So about 10, 15 more minutes. So let's talk about relationships. So I'm super curious. I'd like to start with Mrs. Awesome Katy. No, not relationships. No.
Worst.
No.
Avoid.
So first, let's talk friendships.
Yes.
Okay, so Katy has more friends than anybody I've ever seen in my life. And I bet you she would. And what's so funny, guys, if whatever type you guys think you are in Myers-Briggs, you're going to have a heartbreak because you don't even realize that everybody knows but you that you're the opposite, by the way. Okay. So I'm guessing that Katy probably thinks she's an introvert, right? Do you think you're an introvert?
Yeah,
of course she does.
I think I'm on the extroverted
Yeah,
side.
She's so on the extroverted
Okay,
side.
so she's definitely an extrovert. And what's so funny about that is all the introverts. My mom, she thinks she's so introverted. I'm like, you thrive in social situations, even though you could be very shy and uncomfortable and have our insecurities and stuff. I'm a high extrovert and I have social anxiety sometimes, right? Not really anymore, but I used to my whole life. And we could talk about how I overcame pretty much all of that too, if you guys want, but it takes a lot of years. You might be 10 years into mastering that one. But anyways, yeah, what's interesting is Katy actually has more people and more friends than I've ever seen anyone in my entire life. But like every time I see a post on her social media, I'm just like, who is this person? Oh my God. She's like, but I'm an introvert.
I'm so quiet.
Katy, what's your 2 IG handles for those who would like to see you? And for those watching on YouTube, we'll put them on the screen right here somewhere.
Yes, so it's at Katy_Hamman, and of course, do we still have the Entrepreneurs Journey page up?
We do, but it's not active really.
We're gonna maybe revisit that.
Yeah,
so,
we've been talking. Me and JP's been talking about.
Yeah, because we want to put some awesome stuff up on there. Again, we were putting some really cool quotes.
Yeah,
and all that
inspirational
stuff
for entrepreneurs. How do you spell Hamman for those?
So it's at Katy Katy_Hamman HAMANN.
There we go. Cool.
Yeah,
okay.
Check me out.
Sweet. And so she does have a magazine that she launched and rocked, but she may be in the transitioning.
Yeah, I'm in a transitioning phase with that, but look for more definitely mental health stuff that I'm working together with some friends, and obviously we're working together with that. So be watching out for something there too as well.
Yeah.
So go follow Katy, guys. Her page is awesome, because she's like the most known model in Colorado, like actually probably. So everybody freaking knows Katy if you're modeling. So freaking for this introvert over here. That's fine. So so definitely give her a follow, guys. She has some sick content, like some creative, cool content. It's dope. It's really dope.
Yes.
A lot of colors and fun stuff. Like
it's gonna get even more colorful with these two.
Yeah, that's right. Because I'm black.
Oh my God.
We're trying to get to his level of tan.
Yeah.
I've been
trying so hard.
We're probably actually not too far.
I'm like the lightest here, guys. See?
Okay. All right. Yeah.
All
right. I'm still winning. We're the inside of my arm. Yeah. Okay. I'm still winning.
Still winning.
Yeah. All right. So cool. Okay. So Katy, so for friendships, what are some traits that you look for in friendships? And then what are some of the red flags where you like run away?
Oh gosh, this is good for me, guys. This is good for me because I have my closest friends have mainly been with me for a lot of years. It's great. I have childhood friends that have been in my life, and whether we've been friends since childhood or reconnected, there's always been that bond. Like I've always kept those friends close, even if we've had things come up in life and we've kind of, gone our separate ways and things have happened. It's just great because we've always still been there for each other and, one avenue or another. And so keeping those long-term friendships, I think that's key. I think that just connecting with them when you can and when you have time and just saying, hey, I'm still here. How are you? Wow. A few years went by, like those I value the most. I have, a lot of childhood friends that I'm still friends with, and then connecting with people and just keeping them in my circle, like just loyalty is what I value. That's huge to me. Like keeping those friends in your life who are just there for you no matter what. And that's probably my biggest trait is loyalty.
Do you and loyalty there for you? Do you mean like emotionally or physically? Like
I think both. I think there has to be a good balance of both.
Yeah.
Like you're there for that person, they're there for you. During the good and the bad times. Not just one or the other. Like they're there to praise you and your success, and then also be there for you when you have your hard times or when you fail at something. And that's to me like super important when my friends are there for both.
Wow, very cool. Okay, and then is there any deal breakers like where you see red flags and you're like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't be that close with this person?
I think people that are time zappers, I've had to set boundaries in my own life. People that just are constantly wanting attention, or they're constantly, they don't understand the hustle, that you do day in and day out. And it's like, sometimes I have to like, just really set like a strong boundary of like, hey, like I'm busy, like I'm always going to be there for you. But there's been friends that I've had to set, some strong boundaries with and just say, hey, like I'm here to support my family. I need to make money. Like I can't be on the phone 24/7. And that's kind of part of where you learn like life balance too, in friendships and balancing work and, all that stuff. And so that's important to me too, is just keeping the boundaries. And
very good.
Yeah,
balance is everything, isn't it? Like it really freaking is. Like everything comes to balance, all of it.
And communication too, that's good. That's a huge one. Because, if you're busy or they're busy, or like I know Josh and Alex and I go back and forth, like, hey, my client went over, or something happened with my sitter, or whatever. Like just that little bit of flexibility.
Totally.
Too.
Yeah.
And we always
and understanding,
like, because I was gonna say, because we won't text back for days sometimes, literally, and we all just understand that's how it freaking goes.
It's
for
not
us.
like, no, you didn't answer me.
Yeah,
text.
it's not personal. Like, you know, like some people get really like pissed about that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I appreciate if people understand it might take me a few days sometimes because I have other higher priorities I got to get to first, like immediate fires, right?
Texting us nonstop.
Yeah, so I got to get through my business stuff before I can get to my personal stuff. Totally. So it's just, and our good friends understand that, and it's a good relationship when it goes both ways sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, but we try our very best to freaking like get back as soon as we can. That's like important because yeah,
or like honesty, like, hey, I really need you at this moment, like something's happening, like, you know, it's out of control. Just communicate with that
communication.
And say, hey, like, do you have a second to chat? You know.
Yeah, I've realized like I'm a raw communicator, so I didn't realize that until Alex and people have been pointing that out to me more and more. It's like I just communicate very directly, almost like without much emotions, but it's just like super raw. It's just like, oh, this is how I feel and this. But I always thought that that's such a good thing because you get to the core of what's the issue, what's bothering you, or what's not, or before it happens. So I like unemotional communication. However, I know some people need some more, some soft emotions. Yeah. But because I will tell Alex straight up like things, I'll be like, that's annoying me, or that's this, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't sound well, I don't know how mean I sound. But
busy, Alex.
I see the bit. No, he's a sweet man. And I know everything he says is out of love, whether it comes off like, ouch.
It's just direct, and it's harder for me to you know, see the people's how they'll take things sometimes. And instead of me obsessing in my head about, well, do I need to say it super soft, whatever, I just feel like I need to have people in my life that are can just understand, can just take whatever I say, and they can do the same to me. I actually prefer it. You don't need to be delicate with me at all. I actually prefer the rawness. I actually like to feel something.
I don't mind a little bit. Squish me right.
You need to get better because you suck here. Literally, I'm like that, right?
Oh, so funny.
But to me, I like a little sting. A sting is good. It keeps me feeling alive, you know? And for me, maybe we should think about that more. Maybe it's part of like, I don't know. Maybe
we should do another podcast on that.
Yeah. I like the stings. Because stings, guys, if you feel a sting, oh my God, you just got hooked up. Because now you know if you go toward that sting, you got so much growth there. The bigger the sting, the more opportunity for growth. So really get excited about those things, guys. They hurt. Yeah. But hey, let them fly.
Yeah.
Just don't have your natural instinct of like, no, not me, you. Just don't do that, right? Like just kind of like lean. What I do is I lean physically in, and I'm like, okay, cool. To train my brain to like not run from it, to run toward it. And that really helps me take feedback a lot better. Because feedback's hard for everybody.
Everything's my fault, right?
Everything is my fault. We got Jocko on the wall right here. Right here. Jocko's looking at us right now with his meme mug. What's his meme?
Don't judge me.
Everything's your fault. But cool. Okay. Thanks, Katy, for sharing that. And babes, what are things you look for in friendships, and what are some red flags?
I mean, I would agree with Katy, like someone that's there for me, that I can call in like hard times, good times, share like your whole life with them. For me, I gravitate a little bit more towards negative thoughts. So I need people around me that are super positive. If I have negative people around me, then I just like bask in the negativity.
I struggle with that too.
Great observation.
Yeah. So I definitely need people that are more positive around me to keep that positivity up.
And are you saying, because you can only feel so much on your own, so you're looking for people to magnify the emotion with, would you say?
Yes.
Whether it's awesome things that happen or negative things, you're trying to
people
magnify
people that are there, like there, and like they acknowledge my feelings, I guess. Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah.
Great.
And I would say a red flag is negativity, just because, like I said, if I'm around negative people, I just become such a negative person.
Vulnerable to it.
Yeah,
that's super interesting. I'm trying to think if that. I just don't like being around negative. It's not like eventually what you're around is going to sink into your subconscious.
Yeah, that's
and where I'm more prone to that, it's like a day with a negative person will make me very negative.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I'm not as sensitive to it,
Mhm.
but it gets extremely annoying after a while. Where I'm just like, okay, look, life's hard enough for all of us.
Seriously.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, I don't need you tearing my life down with
Yeah.
yours, right? Misery loves
Yeah.
company,
That's true.
you know, and it's very true. And I think optimism loves company too. Like
Yeah.
joy, happiness,
Yeah.
loves
Finding
company
that
too.
balance, you know, that balance of like wanting to be an empath and help people that are
Totally.
going through negative situations and
But
be
not
there for
taking
them.
it on.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not taking it all
Mhm.
in.
Do you have, Katie, do you have any tips on that? Because I think you're going to be an empath by nature, especially
Yes.
based on your
Mhm.
functions. So do you have any tips on how to kind of balance that?
Yeah, so like sometimes I'll have friends come to me with negative stuff and I'll say like, I had a friend, for instance, this week that's just having a really rough time. And I said, well, tell me some positive things and what are some things that you're
Love that.
grateful for? Or what are some
Oh,
things
good.
that you're good at, you know, like looking within
Yeah,
yourself to
right.
find
Mhm.
like, you know, to appreciate the things about yourself that for so often we take for granted. You know?
Well,
Mhm.
that's so good, Katie, because when you think about it, they're obsessed and fixated on all the negatives,
Mhm.
and you need to balance the perspective.
Yeah.
You need to balance the observation.
I
There's
could have kept
also
feeding
good.
off of it.
Exactly.
Oh, that sucks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's
to,
not
give them
helping.
a tool to like say,
Get out of
hey,
it.
like
Yeah.
get out of your funk. Like let me,
Yes.
Yeah.
I have this theory that whatever you get in the short term, you probably are going to get the opposite in the long term. So if you give somebody like, oh, it's so true, so you're so screwed, then you're making them feel better in the short term. Or like, no, that's not your fault. He's all bad. Girls do this in relationships. Oh my God. They're always like, oh no, it's all him. You're perfect and beautiful. You deserve better. Oh my God. If I hear another girl say that, I'm going to shoot myself.
He doesn't take you at your worst. He doesn't deserve
Oh,
you at
that's your
best.
Oh, I hate that quote so
He
much.
does.
it.
He
I
really
hate it.
hates it.
Like says effing who? Like says you? Oh my God. If you thought that through, guys, that's a terrible philosophy. Anyways, now I'm getting all freaking fired up. Bad logic.
Another
fires me up.
podcast.
Right?
Yeah.
Another podcast, another day.
But like seriously though, like I think that actually is doing them way more harm in the long term. So yes, they're
Absolutely.
feeling better in
Yeah.
the short term, but you're hurting their life and their
I
philosophy
agree.
and
I do
mindset in the
agree
long
with
term.
that.
Yep.
And I think we have a responsibility to help people. So that's where I come in. Don't worry, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth because and you're going to feel the pain in the short term, but you're going to get the opposite in the long term.
Mhm.
We all feel those things and none of it feels good. Yes, I get it. But you know how much better that's going to be in the long
Yeah,
term?
he suffocates my negativity.
Yeah. I have to. If not, she's going to suffer more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want her to suffer. If you really care about the person, don't make them suffer forever.
And
in the
it's
long term.
hard, guys. I'm still
hard.
going through it, man.
Yeah.
I'm working daily
Work in progress.
on my
Yeah.
negative worry, fear.
But that's such a great point, Katie.
You know.
It's like
I love
agree.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that.
it's about the balance. Like if you're going to look at all the negatives in the situation, you better look at the positives too. Because guess what? Every situation in the history of humans forever, you can look and find an abundance of negative if that's what you're looking for. And every single situation in the history of humans, you can find abundance of positive if that's what you're looking for. Really think about that, guys. Okay. If that is actually true, let's just assume it's true because it's safer to do that in this scenario, I think. So if that's true, even if someone dies, you know how much positivity comes from that? You know that can give you a chance to live your life to the max.
Totally.
You know that can influence and change and inspire the world because you changed yourself and now you can go start a mission that you always were scared to because you realize life is short. So come on, guys, stop sitting here looking at all the negative and assessing over it. Now I'm getting all preachy, but all blasting. but please stop looking at the negatives. If you're going to point out the negatives, you better freaking point out the positives, or you're in denial, or you're in la la land. You're in a subjective reality. And guess what? The people who care about hearing your negative BS are just other people that like negative BS.
Yep.
And guess what? Winners and people that are like happy in life don't have time for that. They don't.
No, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
They
It
don't
is.
think that way. They know it's not true because they will go through the same scenario and see the positive in it. Do you see what I'm saying? So only other complainers are going to care.
Yeah.
Right. And that's not it may be the people that you want to be around, but I don't think there's much value there. Or I don't think it's optimal.
Yeah, I've had to cut off a lot of friends who've been negative in my life recently, and it's
Yep.
Yeah,
I
it's been
set
helpful.
strong boundaries
Yeah.
too. Same.
yeah.
Yeah. Hasn't it been nice?
Yeah.
Like we cut out a few negative people in our life that are just always doom and gloom, seeing the worst.
Yeah.
And right now, Gary Vee talks about this. Like
Yeah.
this is the greatest time in history to be human. and the most best time there's ever been based on data, right? Like, and you still see the world as the worst place ever, well, then that's your choice without you realizing. And it doesn't mean this is where I don't seem compassionate, because it's like, I understand it's just more tough love. I understand that it's not easy. Like, your brain wiring is tricking you, and it's not like you're choosing consciously, but you still have a choice. If you're hearing this right now and you have access to the freaking internet, if you have access to the freaking internet, you can Google all day Tony Robbins positivity and figure it out. Okay. The information's out there. So just go freaking find it and practice it. And no, it's not overnight. It's just like a muscle, like everything else. You got to work it all the time.
And for someone like me who's negative, just some advice, like if you find one like talk that works, listen to it over and over again. Like I did that last night with the Tony Robbins and Michael Singer interview. And I listened to it 3 times through. And I'm going to continue to listen to it for the next few weeks until it just becomes unconscious.
Yeah, look that up on YouTube, guys. Do you know the name of the video?
I can find
You could just Google Tony Robbins and Michael A. Singer interview. It's newish.
I have it right here. It's called Finding Inner Peace with Tony Robbins and Michael Singer.
Finding Inner Peace. It's dope, guys. It's a good one. So, all right, guys. And then let's move to the last part of the podcast session. And let's talk about romantic relationships.
Hey, you didn't tell us what you wanted in friendships.
Sure. Okay. I figured I'd skip me, but hey, since she's throwing me in out there. I think in friendships, 2 things. One, they have to be very open-minded, period. That's so important. They do need to be practical, which is optimistic, right? So it's like so positive, right? But that comes from just thinking practically, right? It's just like, I can see it this way, I can see it this way. But I prefer to have people that are on the same journey as me. So they have to be wanting to self-grow. Now, it's not like I'm not friends with people that aren't. I have a lot of friends that we just like hang with and, we used to party with or whatever. Even though Alex and I are completely sober these days, so we're not partying. That's why those people aren't around. I want people that just, if you have anything you're working toward with passion, I love you already. We're tight. Trust me, because it's like, whether you want to be a famous musician, whether you want to be an entrepreneur, make millions, if you're just on a mission, I love you.
Determination and drive, I think.
So, oh my God, our chemistry will be instant, and we'll have so much sparks and endorphins flying. It's going to be insane, because I'm so freaking passionate about the things I do, and it brings me so much happiness. And if they have that passion, it's fun to be around people that have that kind of spark, right? So it multiplies when you have it and you're around someone else. It's freaking fun. So I like people who like to wake up every day. Like, if you're excited to wake up and freaking do something, do your life, that's freaking awesome, right? But I don't know if it's mandatory. I do have understanding for everybody for where they are. It's just we won't be as deep. We won't be as tight. But it's still cool, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I think, so I'm just kind of rambling in circles because I'm trying to process on the spot. But I would say finding someone who has something that they're passionate toward, working towards something, period, where they just stoked. They can't wait to go home after we hang out and go work and grind on their stuff. God, I love those people. I want more of those people.
Me too.
How do I find more of them? If you guys have any ideas how to find more, let us know. That's why I started the Entrepreneur's Journey, guys. And then I did find like 7 or 8 of us, and that was really dope. And shout out to my boy JP. JP.
Miss you.
Yeah, that's my boy. So he's one that's a very close friend of mine still from doing that, because he's the same way. He's a grinder. He's a hustler.
He's a cool guy.
And I think that you're just happier if you have something that you're passionate working toward, a goal that you're working toward, and you enjoy the journey. That is the big thing. It's like, you gotta freaking enjoy that journey. So if you enjoy the journey, you're stoked and happy, and you're already freaking a positive person anyway. You gotta be, right? So as far as I can tell. So so that's what I look for. Red flags would be pessimism. I'm not feeling that at all. Peace. So I'd say pessimism, like negativity, doom and gloom, or if they're I don't mind if they're like a partier where they're just trying to escape all their problems all the time. Actually, I'm okay with that, because I have a lot of compassion and understanding for it. But I would say, just where's your focus in life? I realize I'm not as killing it in life when I'm around people that aren't doing things in life a lot. So for selfish reasons, I don't want to be around them too much, but I don't mind who they are as people at all. Actually, I love humans and studying humans and observing them like zoo animals. So, okay, that's it for me. Okay, so last thing is romantic relationships. So, Katy is here, and
Katy is here.
Katie's here.
Sort of here.
I think she just ran out the door.
Well, you guys know Alex.
Yeah.
Alex and I are engaged, for those who don't know, but you guys probably do know if you're on this podcast. And so first we'll start with Katy. So Katy, so what do you look for in romantic relationships? Like, what are some initial attraction? Okay, actually, here's a better question. What are the traits that you're drawn to, attracted to, and what are the traits that you think you need? Because those can be two completely different things. And if you want a sec to think about it, we can start with Alex.
Let's see. What are the traits I'm attracted to, drawn to, and what else?
Yeah, and then the second one is now what are the traits you need? For example, a lot of girls are drawn to bad boys, but they need a good boy.
I have been drawn to bad boys. Let's just go ahead and just throw that out there. So, yes, definitely. I like feisty, and that's not always healthy, but they're fun.
Yeah. Right. What do you like about it?
I think just the thrill. I grew up very conservative, and kind of told I couldn't date and I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. So coming from a very conservative family, I kind of left home at a very early age and started dating early, and I got married at a very early age. I was 19. And so I think just the thrill of being able to date and who was available and, who wanted to get in trouble with me and, that sort of stuff.
Mischievous, Katy, what? What?
I'm not going to lie. I love it.
I never saw that coming.
What I need in my life, and I think what I've craved so much, is loyalty. And that's huge for me. That's been a struggle over the years, to find someone that's loyal, that's compassionate, that just wants to kind of, grow with me. And that's been a huge thing is, I'm into, personal growth and, expanding my business and just living life to the fullest, and finding someone that, can join me on that journey is something I'm definitely, that I'm passionate about finding, and it's not easy.
Okay. So I'm thinking that there's an animalistic side of us that just naturally gets attracted to whatever, right? Whether it's a good boy, bad boy, for in this case example. Do you feel that you can find both in one, or do you think that they're just a coin? Like you're going to find
No, I think you can find both in one. And I think it's again about balance and finding, there's no perfect relationship, there's going to be something in someone that you don't like and something in someone else that you don't like, to me, it's just finding that balance of, what you want and then what's probably best for you. And, just looking for that. And I think that's something that I'm on a journey to find. And, I don't know what that journey looks like, but that's why I've been doing a lot of personal development and growth on myself and, finding the mistakes that I've made and the things that I want to do differently. And I know one day if something's meant to be, it'll be, or if not, then I'll just continue to grow single and raise my kids.
And there you go. And and you'll be good either way because you have yourself to fall back on at the end of the day. And I have this theory really quick, actually, speaking on that, is I think I figured out attraction, guys. I think us humans, the more unbalanced we are, the more we're attracted to the opposite balance. Okay. But I also think as an overall golden rule, if you want to attract the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever you're into, I think that it's about balance. So here's what I mean. If you look like a big, scary dude by nature, you better show the most soft, warming, loving side. And that's attractive. Yes. For example, if you're covered in tattoos, right? And you're just completely covered. I think if you dress clean cut and nice, that's attractive. Or if you come off super sensitive and a little geeky nerd, like how I grew up or whatever, you better show that mean animalistic side that you have some balls on you. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think attraction is, because guess what? That creates intrigue, because you're like, okay, I think I see what this person is, but now I'm
it's so intriguing.
Yes, it's intriguing.
That's a very,
So it's like finding how you look, guys. If you look nerdy, then you better do some cool guy stuff sometimes. Okay. And if you look cool guy, if you're just like a jock, then you should show that you do have some intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like,
Totally.
I think that's like, not that that's just stereotype.
Yeah.
So of course you have both, okay? But I'm just saying, so I think if you want to attract people, you look at your physical appearance. If you're like nerdy wearing glasses, then maybe you wear the cool guy hat, right? Like it's a little balance, right? So find out whatever your balance is, even though I never thought about that actually, but I think
You're
that's
doing it.
Yeah,
You're doing a good job.
I'm doing it right
You're doing a good
now. That's funny. All right. But anyway, so like whatever it is, like find your balance to show that you're well-rounded, because you know why I think we're attracted to balance is because then you unconsciously can just sense that you feel you're going to be safe, because you know that like no matter what happens, they can handle all scenarios, whether it's a social scenario, whether it's a endangered bear chase you scenario, whatever's going on, the more balanced they are, the more safe you're going to feel. And I think even us guys, we want to have that, because I want to be leading my relationship completely. I don't need her to keep safety for us at all, right? But it is nice to have the balance to know if I'm sick or something, she can hold down the fort, right? So I think that balance is very attractive from a survival animalistic standpoint. And I think that's why we're all still animals, right? All right, so that's my 2 cents on that. Okay, did we talk about deal breakers?
Deal breakers.
Yeah. Is there any that you can think of where you're like, if I see this trait in someone too much, I don't think I could work with it?
Honestly, hygiene is a huge deal breaker for me. Like, if you brush your teeth like once a week, girl, bye. Not happening. No, I really don't. I've never dated a guy that doesn't.
That's so funny.
But hygiene is big to me, and I think that all ties into the physical and taking care of yourself and what you're eating and putting in your body. And I think that that is really important to me. If you can't take care of your body, you eat like poop shit. Let's just go ahead and say it. Yeah, no. Like it's going to affect, you know, so many different things. And that would be a deal breaker for me. I mean, I want someone that takes care of himself, you know, just like me. You know, I take care of myself, you take care of yourself. And it shows that you're, you know, creating healthy habits. And
yeah, if you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of her?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so you guys, if you guys want to get on a date with Katy, better brush your teeth, son.
Better get those white strips going.
Right?
I was gonna say, speaking of, shout out to White Strips. I forgot how awesome they are.
White strips are awesome.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
I just started using them again, so I haven't used them in years, and I just started, and my teeth are already getting so much cooler. Because usually my teeth has always just been purely white, so they don't even really help much. But now that I'm like in my mid-30s, like I can notice a little difference. Yeah, old man Rivers over here. Yeah. Shout out to White Strips. What's up?
Yeah. That's White Strips.
What about you, babes? So first, like, what are you attracted to, and then what do you feel like you need?
So I would say I am attractive to like a manly inner world. So I can be pretty aggressive, and I've always said like, if you let me walk all over you, I will. And that's not attractive to me at all. I'm like, if I can tell you what to do and you go do it.
Oh, perfect. No wonder we work out so well. I don't do anything she says.
Nothing.
She's like,
That
that's
sounds
so
about
hot.
Like, I've dated guys.
She's like, oh, this is so hot.
I've dated guys that just try to like please me and I'm like, you're
Yeah,
a little
right.
B-word.
You're like, no, I'm good.
I'm like, no, don't just like bow down to me. Like, you know, put me in my place. I know that sounds kind of
That's
bad,
freaking
but,
interesting. And that's animalistic. That's not like you like, you know, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I can't. It's too much for me. I feel like the man in the relationship, and I don't want to feel like the man in the relationship.
No.
You know? So
that's what you're animalistically attracted to.
Yeah. I would
Okay, so
definitely
just
say.
a strong and self and internally.
Like confidence in who they are.
Okay.
I'd say, and that they can lead me. I don't want to lead you. You know what I mean? Like, I know, like, I mean, stereotypes. Like, I want the man in my life to be the leader of the family. I don't want to be the leader. But I can be. And if you make me be, it's not going to work.
Yeah, right.
You know,
she's not going to be happy about that.
And what else?
Now, what do you feel like you need? Is it the same thing?
I would say I need the same thing. Like, that is a need for me. I don't necessarily trust myself to make like important decisions to someone that I can like bounce ideas off of. Like, do you think this is good? And it's like, if I'm the leader, like, how am I supposed to bounce ideas off of you and decide what the best plan of action is?
I think that would be unattractive for a lot of women.
Yeah.
It's like, if they're like wearing the pants too
Yeah.
much, I feel like I know this is stereotypical, and I
Yeah.
know that this isn't universal, because I'm sure there's a lot of you listening that's like, nope, not me.
Yeah.
But I think I would think the majority of women, that would be very unattractive, is like, you got to take care of them.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't
It's
sound
not
very
fun.
fun.
Yeah. And I'm a really strong person inside. So it's like, I will walk all over you if you let me. Like, I will.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine you with like, I don't want to say names, but like, what I'm thinking of. Like someone like that, like you would just put them in check all the time, and then you resent them for you having to do it.
Exactly.
And then that'd be a nightmare.
Exactly. So that's definitely a want, an attraction, and a need for me. When I see someone that's very like confident about their like aura and who they are, and just that, it's like, ooh, yeah.
Put some tingles going on.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah, that's right. No, join us. Super open-minded over here. All right.
Oh, I would say that open-mindedness too.
Yeah.
I need that. I need that for sure.
That's important, I think.
Deal breakers.
Yeah, deal breakers.
Cheater.
Cheater.
Someone I can't trust. If there's no trust in the relationship, you've got nothing. And then I'm gonna be a crazy girl, and I'm gonna go find everything, and I'm just gonna be crazy. So.
Oh yeah, and then you start the crazy town.
And then
where it just doesn't stop. I'm gonna always grab your stuff.
Yeah. So I'd say someone that's trustworthy.
Definitely.
That's, what's very interesting about this, guys, though, is Esther Perel. If you guys don't know her, you should look her up. She talks about how women in America are taught to leave their guy if they stray or cheat, and that's actually not natural. And so like the Hillary Clinton scandal is like really bad, or where Bill Clinton cheated. They're saying she did the right thing, but everyone was shaming her for leaving. And so I think it's a very interesting thing. I don't know where I stand on that spectrum. I just think it's very interesting to think about.
Well, I guess I wouldn't say, I shouldn't have said cheating in general, because I've always said, like, I think it takes more balls for like, if Josh cheated on me, I think it takes more balls and more honesty and more trust for him to come tell me.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, it's just like that honesty factor, trust.
It's just, it comes to trust.
Yeah. Communication,
Exactly. Like, hey, I did this, like, I still love you, but I feel like that takes so much more character and so much more everything than, and then I can trust you. It's like, obviously I don't want you to go cheat on me.
Right.
But I know. And that, for me, the unknowing is the thing that drives me crazy.
Oh, right. Yeah. So it's not necessarily like the cheating. It's just about the trust that can be affected by the cheating.
Exactly.
Is that the same for you, Katy?
Yeah, same for me. Like it's huge. And I'm big on like emotional cheating is worse to me than anything. I can totally hands down tell you that is my biggest thing that 100%. I do not tolerate in a relationship, like emotional cheating. Like just don't do it.
Agreed with that.
So what about 100%. Katy, for you, like physical cheating? Are you kind of okay with? Because what's very interesting is we found that a lot of women in today's society, thank God, like we're getting more open-minded. That's all I like about it. It's not about the situation, but a lot of women are okay with
physical,
emotional monogamy, but physically they can be not monogamous, and they're getting really okay with it. A lot of couples are finding a lot of actual happiness with that. And so, what's your thoughts on that, Katy?
I mean, physical, it's going to sting. It's going to hurt, it's a physical act. But I think when you're bonded emotionally with a person and you've told them your life story and you poured your heart out to them and you're vulnerable and you've been through difficult times and good times and you've just literally given them your whole heart, for them to go behind your back and not communicate with you and get their needs met somewhere else.
Painful.
Like to me, that's like a dagger in the
heart.
That's
painful.
I resonate with that so much.
Much. It hurts. And I've dealt with that a lot in my own life. And, it's not necessarily been the physical, but that has scarred me more mentally. And I've had to get, more therapy and help just to overcome my emotional, the lacking of, getting that from a partner because they were getting it somewhere else, or because, whatever reason they just connected more with someone. When you can't be honest with your partner or your significant other, or you bonding with them like you do with someone else, it's not okay. Like
this is fascinating to me. I'm so fascinated by the subject of like relationships and cheating and stuff, because what's interesting is like, if you think of like everything is my fault, then it kind of changes the story. And then I don't know how we feel, because for example, it's like kind of like, what was I missing? Why wasn't I listening to them when they were saying that they were unhappy here, or then I didn't try? Like, if you think of it that way, I wonder how that changes the experience. But also what I'm intrigued by, and I don't know, this is just interesting to think about for me. But then also what I'm interested in thinking is like, how do I word it? Is like if I think a lot of why we have fears of cheating, right? I have a big fear of like I mean, if she cheated on me, that would be the most devastating thing ever. But I think a lot of it has to do with me not feeling good enough, right? So it's a selfish one, right? So for example, if she fell for someone else, it would make me feel more insecure about myself. Like, okay, I guess I'm just not good enough, or I guess I'm just not enough, or something like that. And I think that's where the main pain comes from, because I think if I had a complete confidence inside where I'm like, okay, I know I am, I don't think it would sting that much, because I'd be okay. I'd be like, well, okay, I see it. I know what happened. And I can just move on if I want, or I can stay if I want to have the choice. So I think it comes down to our insecurities, which is why. So I think it's like the problem isn't thinking that they shouldn't do something or they need to change. It's like, why am I so vulnerable to something like that? Because where's my insecurities? Because now I'm feeling like not good enough.
Right.
Is that like interesting, right? Like to think about.
That's like a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We should totally do another one on that.
That's a great one.
That's a really good one.
Dig deep into
Right.
that.
I would love to.
Yeah, girl.
I would love to. Yeah, I think that's great. So if you guys are interested in that, then just let us know.
Yeah.
We'd be stoked to talk about that one, because I think it's intriguing.
What about you?
Did we go over? Yeah, we went over Dealbreakers. Yeah. Okay. For me, I would actually say, let's start backwards because I'm dyslexic. I actually don't think there is any deal breakers per se. I just would say it's hard for me to not feel like I can trust someone. And that makes it pretty uncomfortable for me. And it makes it hard to be vulnerable, because connection, in my opinion or experience, connection and vulnerability is a coin. So you can't have one without if one's happening, the other's not, right? And so for me, I've always struggled with being vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable, not physically or sexually vulnerable. I'm just like, take me.
Oh my
gosh. Have your way with me.
This man.
No, but like, I think that like, earmuffs, kids. I think I don't think I would ever say never for anything, actually. I think that I would just sit with it and try to logically understand what happened and what was my fault. And I would blame it on myself. And I would be like, and I would probably apologize to them. However, it would be probably not the funnest if I couldn't work through that part. If I couldn't work through the logic and understanding, then it would make the relationship a lot harder. And so in that case, like, it goes down to trust. But like, actually cheating almost feels equal to trust to me from an animalistic standpoint. And I think because men, we didn't have the DNA tests are throughout evolution. So it's like our big fear that's built in us is our women physically cheating. For girls, it's emotional, right? For guys, it's physical. And I think it comes to evolution, right? It's just like, oh, if I don't know if that kid is mine that I'm giving my all to protect, right? And so I think there's like something in me where that's just a freaking freak out. Like, that freaks me out. That would be very, very painful. But then if I'm honest with myself, it comes down to a lot of my own insecurities that I want to get on top of. So I think it's interesting. I think whatever happens in life, I'll be okay. I'm pretty strong. And I have good logical processing skills, I feel. So, but I would say what I'm attracted to animalistically, it's funny because I just wanted to say whatever Alex is. Ow, why'd you hit me for that?
Be honest.
No, that's true. No, it's true. I just don't know like the detail of the sensory, but I would say I've always been physically attracted to girls that look like Alex.
He likes blonde hair.
I do like blonde hair. Yeah, they're both attractive.
Don't let him fool you.
Right?
For those who can see the video. Yeah. Blonde hair, you got me. No, I've actually dated more brunettes than blondes, which is interesting.
Funny.
But it's very weird. All right, but anyways, I think that as I get older, for sure, I'm less attracted to the freaking looks. I'm way more into, are we gonna have fun together?
Yeah,
that's like what matters to me. Are we gonna have a good, fun, non-stressful life together? That's what matters to me the most. But I would say I do like having animalistic attraction. It's fun. I like having that drive toward Alex. So I would say like, however she looks, I do like girls that are in decent shape, Not that they have, it's not a mandatory. They don't have to even work out. That's fine. But if they do, it's a bonus. I like them being chaosy a little bit, and I like them being crazier than me.
Yeah.
Winning.
Oh yeah, you're
Like
killing
winning.
it, babe. You're murdering it. But I like it. What I mean by that is I like them to be a bit more free-spirited than me, even though I would say I'm pretty free-spirited.
Yeah, it's hard to beat him.
Yeah. But I mean, what I mean by that is expanding my I like doing crazy things together, like things that, and without judgment. Okay, this is what I actually really like now that I'm processing it. I like to go places that a lot of people would say is like too much or something. And then I like to go there without judgment. Okay, so I like when they're naturally open-minded in these ways, right? Like, let's smoke crack tonight, baby.
Oh my gosh, we've never smoked crack.
I'm just joking. But hey, I don't want to smoke crack, but I'm just saying that kind of thinking though, it's like, okay, everybody says like, this is like weird or bad or whatever. Like, do we know that? Like, let's stay open-minded. And then like, I don't know how to explain it very well in this history, but like, I guess just because that's a bit extreme, but I'm just saying like being, spontaneous and fun. Yeah. Just expanding my box of, trying new things or something like that is pretty cool.
Yeah, not boring. Like, I don't want boring. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or like, like just follow. Like, like it's just fun.
Yeah, and I like when they can be socially independent because for all my other relationships, I had to carry the whole social dynamic, and that was freaking boring. Yeah, Katie's met some of my exes, and she, like, they're just like this. And I'm just like, okay, guys, and I have to carry the whole load of the freaking social. So I like that. I'm attracted to that for sure. And then also I like a certain amount of logic. We have to be able to talk logic together because logic is my sport in life. My sport in life is human behavior. And that's my sport, is helping people live the best life they can. And if we can't talk about that in a logical way, then I'm not very excited because that's what turns me on in life. Not in those ways, but it just turns,
those ways too. No,
Oh yeah, human behavior. It's getting hot in here.
Like, I don't know what to do.
Damn AC.
Yeah. Oh, I like when you talk function talk, girl.
Talk
yeah. Talk function to me. Oh, intuitive. Oh yeah. Thinker feeler. Oh yeah, girl.
Like you're blasting.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So and I also actually, it is kind of important to, I don't know if it's really important they have to, I don't know if it's a mandatory, but it's really nice to have someone who wants to help me on the journey or be part of the journey with me to change the world. If they want to actually, everyone has said this, but they're not doing much to try to get there. I'm grinding my balls off all day, every day, trying to become the person that's able to change the world, right? In some ways, at least have an impact on it, right? And so I want to help as many people as humanly possible just from me being on the earth, period. I want to influence millions and millions and millions. And if she has that same kind of goal deep down somewhere, like that's pretty dope. Yeah. Because then we naturally align with that kind of value, and then our actions and our life can line up with what we want to do instead of sitting around watching Lost all day. But like, so that's pretty cool. But I wouldn't say it's mandatory because I can handle it on my own. I just did my OCD thing for those that are watching.
I kind of wonder about that.
Yeah. I do that a lot, maybe. Jeez Louise. But yeah, so I think that's a cool bonus, but I can handle it on my own if not. Just supporting me in general is dope because I like to be around my partner a lot. And that's another thing we connect on. We want to be around each other a lot. Yeah, that's important. When people want to spend most of their time by themselves, that's not going to work for me in a relationship. I want to spend a lot of time with that person and have fun with them. Especially if you're going to marry them, you gotta enjoy every minute with them. Shoot.
Stuck with them for life.
Right. For life, yo. All right, guys.
Cool.
I just went backwards on it. All right, cool. And what that's animalistic. I just kind of blended it off. Yeah. All right. I guess animalistic attraction though is someone who it looks very sweet. Like if they're a sweet person, if I get aura that they're sweet inside, and they also have the confidence with the sweets, that's a dope combo. I don't want them to be insecure and sweet. That's not very attractive animalistic to me. But yeah, I think I'm attracted to sweet girls. They're both sweet girls. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
We try.
Right.
but yeah, that's attractive to me is like the sweetness. Because I can be sweet and I can be sour.
Very
so
sour.
I can be both.
Mhm.
Yeah, but and I think everyone can. But anyways. All right, guys. Well, I think that wraps up our episode. We went 1 hour and 10 minutes for this one. This is by far the longest episode. Yeah, but it was so good to have Katy here for this, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed her. And if you guys do, just let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
If you guys would like to see more of Katy or message us or whatever. And if so, we'll get her on for a few more episodes in the future and keep freaking having fun. And I think our next talk, we will go into talking about our insecurity. Oh, that would be such a great topic. Our insecurities and how they affect the relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we have blame and all that. We're not taking responsibility because it's our insecurities.
Yeah.
And that's what's causing all the pain in relationships.
You're the one making me feel this way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say my famous saying once again because I want to drill this in your guys' heads.
This does not rhyme.
She says it doesn't rhyme. Actually, Katy can be the judge.
Okay.
But if you say should or blame, you're going to have inevitable pain.
Blame and pain does not rhyme.
Actually, it's shame and
Shame rhymes.
baby. Stop putting your freaking masculine 2 cents on it. Jeez. All right, so should and blame cause you pain. Period. So when you guys look at all of the pain in your life, filter it. Am I blaming something or someone, or am I saying something should or shouldn't be this way? They shouldn't talk to me this way, or the traffic people should have this, or there shouldn't be so much traffic this time, whatever. That's always going to cause you pain. Because why? Depression is when you can't change reality and you're stuck, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So do you think pain and blame rhyme, be honest?
Blame and blame?
Plain, yeah.
Plain or pain and blame.
Pain and blame.
Pain and blame.
Yeah.
There's a ring to it.
Yeah. Thank you.
There's a ring.
But Alex is scaring people from telling their honest opinion because she's like, no, it doesn't rhyme. I was just like, jeez. Yeah. So, all right, one for the boys. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, blame, ain. Blame.
No, it's
pain.
aim and aim.
Oh my gosh! Please tell us in the comments, guys.
Please
so
give
that,
us some feedback.
please
I'm just
do.
trying to be on.
Oh my god! I was just like, whose side do I choose?
Team blonde or team logic?
Yeah.
What do we do?
Yeah, right.
That is hilarious.
So please tell us, guys, so we can end this freaking debate. Oh my god, this has been going on for like
For months.
6 months.
Oh my gosh. It's so
But
funny.
either way, though, that's my favorite, my famous saying. That's probably
It
gonna be on
is.
T-shirts one day. Like,
Yeah.
should and blame's gonna bring you pain.
Which is great.
So,
Yeah.
gosh, guys, like really think about that if you want to start
Mhm.
figuring out how to live the most happy life and start
Yeah.
removing some stuff. Who are you blaming? That's probably where 90% of your pain's coming
Mhm.
from, at least.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, Katy.
Yay!
We love you.
Good sesh.
Very
Yay.
good sesh. And if you guys want to find more of Katy, once again, you can find her at, where's the best place?
Katy_Hamman on Instagram.
And Katy is spelled with the Y. And
Yep.
Hamman, actually, can you spell it really quick?
Katy, Katy_Hamman, HAMANN.
And that's on Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram. Yep.
And that's the best place to find
That's the
you.
best place to find me.
All right, cool, guys. And you guys can find us on Our Love, Our Journey Official. Actually, I might be changing the URL because weirdness. Well, but no, for now. Yeah, definitely. Our Love, Our Journey Official on Instagram. And then also for if you guys want to contact me directly, or if you're interested in the fitness stuff, it's J McCray Fitness Official. So JMCCRAY Fitness FITNESS Official, and you'll see a lot of dope transformations. And if you guys want to get lean, we got you. Or if you want to get gains, we got you even more. All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening, and you guys have a phenomenal day. And Katy, what's one word of wisdom that you want to leave them with?
Get lots of sleep.
Yes, freaking, I love that one.
I need more of it in my own life.
Yes.
So sleep is crucial.
Right?
Yes.
The quality of your life is actually dependent on the quality of your sleep.
Yeah.
I actually do think that.
I
Like,
seriously
yeah.
think so.
like when I sleep, I'm always inevitably in a great mood.
Yep.
And when I don't sleep, I'm usually like
Me too.
struggling to be in a good
Yeah,
mood.
me too.
So that's the quality of your life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully that's a practical tip for you guys.
Woohoo!
Babes, do you want to leave them with one?
You put me on the spot here.
Mine's is the should and blame brings you pain.
Don't be negative.
No one likes a negative Nancy.
Negative
Life's hard
Nancy.
enough, guys. We don't
Yeah.
need you to
Don't make it harder.
make us responsible for all your freaking problems.
And that's coming from someone who does it. So
that's right. All right, guys. We love you guys. Have a great night or day. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
See ya.